Okay, after extensively going over commas for the second half of trimester one, we're going to focus on two new pieces of punctuation to begin trimester two and head into the holiday break. Both pretty common as well, the colon and the semicolon. So this week we're going to focus on the colon. And the colon, in case you don't remember, is just the two dots. So it looks like that right there. There are only a few rules for it. Most of them are pretty simple, so let's just go through those. Number one, you use them for lists. You use them to introduce lists, especially after a statement that uses the words these, the following, or as follows. Those phrases create a little pause, which lets you know you're going to need a colon there. So example, to make spaghetti sauce, you will need the following ingredients. See the colon, and then you can see the list that follows. There's a natural pause thanks to the words the following. You do not use a colon if a list immediately follows a verb or a preposition. So in this example, it says, my favorite albums include Vitalogy, Superunknown, and Purple. You'll notice there's no place there for a pause. It just kind of smoothly went on. So we don't need to throw a colon there. Same thing with the next one. I enjoy many different kinds of music, such as rock, pop, and R&B. There's no pause after such as, so we don't need a colon there because this list just runs smoothly from such as. The second rule is illustrations or restatements. So you can use a colon to separate two main clauses, that's two sentences, if the second one restates or explains the preceding material. The example I've given you here is the American presidents, John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, have something in common. And then I've got a colon there. A period could have gone there as well, but in this case, a colon will work. They both died on July 4th, 1826. So once you've learned that rule, it's nice to have in your pocket, but it's not one you're going to want to use over and over again. It's a little pretentious when a period works usually just as well. You can use a colon to introduce a long or a formal quotation. This is not just dialogue. If it's dialogue, we're going to use a comma. So if I said, he said, go to the store, I'm going to put a comma after he said. But a formal quotation is often preceded by words, again, this, these, the following, or as follows. And my example says, his speech to the graduating class began with these words. And then you can see the colon right there. Let's be honest, many of you didn't earn this. There are a few other uses of colons. One of them you've probably been familiar with your whole life, even before you knew it was called a colon, and that is between the hour and the minutes on digital clocks. The second one, and this is really important, when you're writing a letter to a friend, you might say, Dear Bob, and you put a comma after Bob. But when you're writing a formal letter, like say for a scholarship or you want to get into college or you're looking for a job, it's typical to write the phrase to whom it may concern, because that doesn't assume gender in any way, to whom it may concern, and then a colon, not a comma. You don't want to put a comma there and then have your resume thrown in the garbage before they even get to the good stuff. And then, of course, the last one here, I've seen this behind, I don't know how many home plates at baseball games, but between a Bible verse and the lines, you will put a a colon. So John 3:16. If you read the Bible, you already knew that. If you don't, you're probably never going to use this. All right, so in the week one folder, you are going to find this colons exercise right here. And it's going to be a little different than the comma exercises, so I want to show it to you really quick. It's not terribly long, but it's a little bit different. Notice that it says 8 of these sentences need colons, and 2 of them are already correctly punctuated. I think I'm losing my mind here. I can't talk. If the sentence is correct, highlight the word correct at the end of the sentence. If the sentence needs colons, highlight the word before where the colon should go. So my examples here are my favorite foods are mashed potatoes, nachos, and chicken. I didn't need a colon there, so I would highlight the word correct. Whereas in example 2, it says the following are my favorite foods, mashed potatoes, nachos, and chicken. I'm not going to highlight correct because I need a colon, and it's going to come after the word foods. So you're going to highlight the word before the colon appears. So just to show you this in action, this is the only way I could figure out how to do this on Schoology without just giving away where the colons are. It says tracing your family history requires at least 3 things, time, patience, and the ability to listen. Correct. Well, it's not going to be correct because we need a colon in this sentence. And where do we need it? We need it before the list, time, patience, and ability. So you will highlight the word things for number 1 if you want to get that correct. And speaking of getting things correct, you want to get more than half of these right so that I can give you full credit in the gradebook. If you got any questions, let me know, but that's colons in 4.5 minutes.